Hi, it's V. Today I'm going to tell you about one of my coming out stories. This was really my third. I came out to my small group leader, who was this woman who was a college student and volunteered at my church youth group and taught 8 of us in a Bible study where we would read books about the Bible. And I actually really liked it. I like talking about religion and philosophy to this day, even though I'm not really Christian. I really liked her, and I came out in Honesty Box, which was an app that used to be on Facebook. And then my second person was my pastor, who she encouraged me to come out to. And then this story is about how I came out to my mom. And the lead up to this story, I wrote a chapter of a memoir about in high school creative writing class. So I'm going to read that lovely piece of writing to you now. Chapter 5. Alcohol and Coffee Beans. During lunch, my girlfriend pulled me aside. She told me that she wanted to go for a walk. We did, and she stopped in front of the library. I knew that something was wrong. You're a very nice guy, but I'm not physically attracted to you. I stood there a few seconds. It hit me like a tidal wave. We had been going together for a couple months, and everything had been going well. A million thoughts raced through my mind. Why? How? I don't need you. What am I going to do without you? Okay, see you around, I said. I didn't want to make a fool of myself and ask her to give me another chance. That's not how I wanted to be remembered. I walked away, back toward the lunchroom. I picked up my backpack and walked out the door. I waited for lunch to be over, waited to be put in a class, to be forced to think about something else. I walked around and round the school, trying to keep her out of my head, trying to focus on anything else. Those last few minutes of lunch lasted days, but once the bell rang, the rest of the school day passed in a panicked, nauseous blur. The last bell rang and I walked to work, head down. My phone vibrated, but I didn't want to see who it was. I didn't want to talk to anyone. I walked under my own heartsick, isolated rain cloud of forsaken pain. I walked to work, clocked in, and began to clean. Began to busy myself with the routine jobs and duties. I clung to the hustle and bustle of the after-school crowd rushing in to get coffee and donuts. I focused on the orders, the customers, the people I had little connection to. But slowly the rush dwindled down, and then the store lay quiet. And there I stood, back up against the wall, working over what I was about to do. I already knew. Ever since I walked out the cafeteria door, I knew. I had never done it before, but I was going to get drunk, drink my troubles away, drown in an ocean of alcohol, wash up to some other place far away. I was going to drink so much that I would find out if those drunk goggles from health class were really legit. So I went to the back room. I told the shift leader that I needed some booze, a lot of booze. I got an espresso cup and got going. After a few shots of aftershock had slid down my throat, I was feeling a little tipsy, but I wanted more. I had been tipsy before. I didn't want it to feel just nice. I wanted to be completely rooted from my perception of reality. I needed more. I passed the shift leader at 20. I told her that I would do all the work if she got me more, got me drunk. She returned 15 minutes later from Nikki's with 5 nips of vodka along with a 10 change. I set them aside for closing, when it wouldn't matter and I wouldn't get fired. When it was 9 o'clock, I headed to the back, and in the space of 5 minutes, I downed all of them. Then she drove me to youth group. I always went to church on Friday nights, so that's where I went. I had lost my sense of judgment, but the shots hadn't fully kicked in when I arrived. I climbed the stairs to the main room. I brought up the leftover donuts from work and set them on the table. Everyone rushed over. Jude was the only one that noticed. smelled the liquor on my breath. He pulled me aside into the hallway. "Calvin, are you crunk?" he asked in his white suburban slang. I nodded with a grin. I had this, and this, and this, as I pulled the small plastic bottles out of my pockets. I drank some water from the fountain. "Have you eaten anything?" he asked. "No," I told him. He made me eat one of the donuts. He said it would help, but I didn't want it to. Just then, Sam came by. He motioned me out of the building. He didn't know anything yet. "Hey, come on. Gordon, other Sam, and I are sledding out back." I followed him. "I am so drunk," I said. "Drunk?" "Just tipsy." "Why?" Nothing, I said. By then, all the alcohol was kicking in. I stumbled through the parking lot to the back of the church. We got to the other two, and I spilled. I don't want to live anymore. I hate myself. Everyone hates me. You all would hate me if you knew who I was. Sam would hate me. Other Sam would hate me. Gordon would hate me. Maybe not. Maybe Gordon wouldn't hate me. Maybe other Sam wouldn't hate me, but Sam would definitely hate me. No, you all would hate me. I don't want to live anymore. I stumbled around in circles, falling in the snow, drenching my clothes, soaking myself, wet to the skin, clothes plastered to my shaking body. I hate myself. I hate myself. "You don't hate yourself," they said. "Yes, I do." "No, I don't." "No. Yes, I do. I hate myself. I want to die." Other Sam was a youth group leader and came over to me. "What did you drink?" he asked. "This, this, this," I said as I pulled them out once more, and something cinnamon-mini, something cinnamon-mini, something cinnamon-mini. "Are you going to do this again?" he asked. "Yes, no, yes, no, no, yes, no, yes, no, no." I sounded like Gilbert Grape, and I kept rambling, and I smiled at that thought. He kept asking questions. I answered, "Yes, no, yes, no, no, yes." "What's your home phone number?" "I'm going to call your mom," he said. 781-222-4387, I rattled off. "But please don't call it." I was still shivering on the ground. Gordon took off his sweatshirt and slid it over my vibrating frame, and he took me to his car and guided me into the driver's seat. I sat there, and I was suddenly overwhelmed with an unbearable exhaustion. My head sank down to the steering wheel, and I hit the horn. I sat straight up. Sorry, and my head lowered back to the wheel. Gordon pushed the horn down this time, but I didn't realize. I bolted upright. Sorry. Then the youth pastor came out to take me home. Gordon helped me to Todd's car, and I passed out in the passenger seat. And I've never remembered the rest. But I do remember the next morning. I woke up, and my mom and the high school pastor were down in the living room. He wouldn't tell her what was really going on, because really what was going on was that I really did hate myself. I thought that my life, basically my identity, was a sin. I thought that God hated me. I would sit up in the kitchen late at night with a knife to my chest, wanting to do it, but being too afraid of what God did to people who committed suicide. So she threatened him. She said, Vincent, if you don't tell me what's going on, I'm going to take Todd to court and make Todd tell me, because I know he knows what's going on. And I didn't want that to happen, so I told her, Mom, I am attracted to men. And she didn't really say very much after she took me to the hospital because of the suicidal thoughts I had expressed. And I was committed the first time in my life, and I stonewalled, I told them that I was only depressed because of that situation, because my girlfriend broke up with me. And the reality was that that was linked, but it was really that I was trying to be straight, and this was a sign of my failure at doing that, and I felt like it was impossible, and I wanted to die because I felt like my life was doomed. But I lied, and I got out without medication or therapy afterward. And that was the very fun story of how my mom found out, and I had told her not to talk about it again until I was ready to talk about it, which was years later. So she did. She didn't talk about it. It was very strange. I wish it was a happier coming out story, but parts of it are funny. And the next coming out story I had was just as dark and maybe even a little more funny, but that will be a different video. So, goodbye, my beautiful NBs, my strong bipolar friends too, and all of you allies, brazen and free. Goodbye and blessed be. Bye.